Please ensure that you listen carefully, as you will be asked various questions throughout the film and will be given a short opportunity to answer. Welcome to the Tarmac South East Terminal's site induction. On arrival, please note the site plan for the West Thurrock Terminal. As you can see, we operate a one-way traffic system. This is the site plan for the North Fleet Terminal. The maximum speed limit on both the sites is 9 miles per hour. Your vehicle must be reverse parked. At the West Thurrock office, you must sign in at the gatehouse. At the North Fleet site, if you are visiting the main office, you must sign in at the main office block. If you are visiting the terminal, you must sign in at the terminal office. What is the site speed limit? At Tarmac, our safety core value equals 0 harm. No person should be asked, expected or allowed to work in an unsafe or unhealthy manner. Any person has the right to refuse work that could compromise safety. Under no circumstances are children or pets allowed onto any site. Each visitor to our site must be managed by a sponsor who will be responsible for you whilst on site. Any information you require to assist you while on site will be provided by your sponsor. As a visitor, you must stay with your Tarmac guide at all times. Please don't touch anything without your sponsor's permission. Personal protective equipment is mandatory and includes a high-vis vest, a hard hat, safety glasses, lace-up boots, and gloves. In some locations, hearing protection and respiratory equipment must be used, and these areas are indicated with signs. All head protection must be fitted with a chin strap and worn when working at height. Overalls must have reflective strips. Shoes, rigger boots and Wellingtons are not allowed on site unless specified by a risk assessment and agreed with the operations manager. Goggles must be worn in bulk loading and unloading and rail discharge areas. When working within 5 meters of the jetty edge, life jackets must be worn at all times. Additional PPE may be required, which will be detailed in your risk assessments or method statements. Tarmac has cardinal rules for entering and working at their sites. They are not negotiable and are as follows. Ensure you have a site-specific health and safety induction before working. Always comply with the requirements of your permit to work. Do not operate mobile work equipment without the relevant license or authorization. Do not work on equipment that requires isolation without first applying your personal padlock. Do not use a mobile phone whilst driving and/or operating mobile equipment or an HGV. Do not defeat guarding or safety interlocks on operational equipment without written authorization. Do not work whilst under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Do not enter any restricted area unless authorized. These areas are the jetty, rail sidings, loading shed, bulk loading points and high voltage substations. At the North Fleet site, the restricted areas are the jetty, cement terminal and compressor house. List 3 of the restricted areas on site. Please be aware at all times of mobile plant operating on this site and always use the pedestrian walkways. For your own safety, keep a safe distance from vehicles and make eye contact with drivers before crossing. Take extra care and be aware of slippery or uneven floors. Where practical, handrails should be used on stairs as this is part of our culture and prevents falls. Mobile phones must not be used whilst walking around, climbing stairs or driving. Smoking is permitted, but only in the designated areas. When can mobile phones be used? If you discover a fire while on site, ensure that a member of staff is made aware to raise the alarm. Evacuate the building by the shortest and safest route. Proceed outside to the nearest fire assembly point. At the West Thurrock site, the assembly point is located at the bike shed alongside the gatehouse. At the North Fleet terminal, the assembly point is located in the car park situated by the laboratory. At the North Fleet main office, the assembly point is by the sea wall. In the event of an incident being reported by the oil and fuel terminal or aggregates at West Thurrock, you will be advised by a member of staff on how to proceed. Where is the assembly point for West Thurrock site? Tarmac adopts a zero-tolerance policy to the use, possession, production or supply of alcohol and drugs. Random and/or with cause testing may be carried out at any time. You will be asked to sign a written consent form. Failure to give consent or refusal to provide a sample is considered to be breach of the policy, and you will be asked to leave the site. Anyone found to be over the current company alcohol limit of 50 mg per 100 ml of blood or test positive for drugs will be asked to leave the site. In the event of an incident that requires first aid, ask any Tarmac employee for assistance. Tarmac first aiders are on site at all times and can be identified by their green helmets. All incidents must be reported immediately. To allow us to fully investigate any incidents, you must report all injuries, no matter how insignificant, near misses, an event that could have resulted in an injury or high potential incident, any damage sustained to plant or equipment, any issue which could have a negative impact on the environment, for example spillage, dust release, contamination of waste. This will support us in making the workplace safer for everyone. This completes your induction video. If you have any questions, please speak to your Tarmac sponsor before proceeding on site. Remember, our aim is zero harm. We want you to return to home in the same condition as you arrived on our site.